All right, you ready? Hello? Is anybody there? Yo, yo, it's been so long. I can't tell you how happy it is to be with you all and to see some of you now. We got video. That's crazy. I don't even know where to start. Happy New Year. Let's talk about it real quick. How long y'all be giving people to say Happy New Year? Is it 2 weeks? They got till February. I mean, if you ask me, I think it's until you put your Christmas decorations up. And for us, we take our time with it. So we gonna keep saying Happy New Year until our Christmas decorations are gone. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me just start off by saying I'm just glad y'all are here. I'm glad y'all are listening. For those who are returning, I'm glad you're back. Welcome back. Thank y'all for your patience with me. It's been a very long time. And if this is your first time, welcome. This is a Thorn in My Side podcast, and I'm your host, Asa Featherstone IV. Now, I guess I gotta reintroduce myself because it's been a long time, man. For those who don't know, I'm originally a photographer, videographer, an artist, and now a curator. I could talk more about that later, but adding little accolades to the list. I use my work to uncover new perspectives to topics that are widely recognized yet commonly misunderstood. And this particular podcast is a show about uplifting the everyday experiences of people of color. All right, let's just get this out the way. I've been gone for a long time. So long that we lost all the momentum that we built in 2020 because we didn't really record or release any episodes last year. And I even lost all the sponsors that I was starting to build up. Gone. Sponsorship out. So we built them from ground zero. But you know what? This is a fresh start and we're going to do it together. That's just what it is, man. But let's be honest, man. Last year was hard. We thought 2020 was rough and we thought it was going to get better. I mean, it did in certain degrees, but like 2021 was tough too. Like, you can't tell me you ain't struggled a little bit too. And it wasn't all bad. A lot of what, because of all the stuff that was going on, I really just wanted to focus on this transitional phase of my life. Shoot, man. One of the biggest transitions that happened is I got married. Check it out. We got the hardware. I'm sorry if you're listening, you can't see, but I want to talk about that too for a second. How come men aren't allowed to get excited about the ring just as much as the women do? What's up with that? Come on, man. We got to do better. We got to really support each other. Because, women all the time, like I remember, so Sarah, who's my wife now, I remember when she was calling everybody and everybody was, she was telling everybody that we was about to get married and we got engaged. When she would see people in person, so oh yeah, let's see the ring. So it's like, they celebrate the jewelry and the ring. It's like, wow, that looks good. That's a nice shape and all that stuff. But when men talk to their homies, they're just like, yeah, so I'm about to get married. And the men are just like, all right, cool, man. Congratulations. That's a big step, bro. I'm proud of you. And then that's which is great. But I'm like, bro, I'm proud of the way my ring looks too. I'm like how I like the addition to my drip. I don't know. I just want to get that out the way. All that said, 2021 was a big year for me to try and just focus on being a good husband. And behind that, a list of other things, trying to figure out how to move to a new apartment and settle into that new space and get the schedules together. We got 2 dogs now, so trying to be a good dog dad. We're trying to find good and affordable health care, making sure our mental health is taken care of, making sure our physical health. You guys get the idea. It's life. I mean, at the end of the day, though, I guess it does sound like excuses a little bit, but I think deep down I know that I needed that rest. So I took it. And I think that that's going to make us better for moving forward with this show and this podcast. And I think I'm ready to jump back into it now. Y'all know what the craziest thing about this year was, though? I mean, this was just another year for us as Black creators to just take advantage of the moment. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, a lot of these corporations and companies and agencies now, I mean, diversity has always sort of been on the radar, but at least in this window right now, it's like the first thing that they be talking about, where all their decisions now are based on diversity, and people are hiring other black creatives, either black and brown creatives and artists, just because they need to continue to feel like they're in that moment. And this right now, we're in this prime spot now for black creatives to jump and take advantage of that. Y'all know who Chad Sanders is? He's a young writer, director, author. He just released a book last year called Black Magic. And he wrote about this topic in a Time article that I read. Came out early last year. I want to say January. I'll add links to all this stuff so y'all can check it out too. Y'all need to read it. Because it was talking about this window as black creatives. And he's basically saying that, you know, the word black is trendy in media, marketing, and, you know, other boardrooms. And, you know, that there's a specific window for black people to be open and vulnerable and tell their stories. But on the other side, seizing that moment comes at a pretty hefty price. Yeah, these white execs, they will support your show, they will support your idea, they'll put money behind it and push it forward. The only caveat is that they'll ask you to dilute your show so that it's palatable for a white audience. And of course they won't ask that directly. There's always going to be in a roundabout way. So for example, you know, if you have like a very strong black lead, they will try to minimize emotions and take away certain aspects of that character so that the white audience won't be as taken aback, because it's not something that they're accustomed to seeing or accustomed to being around. You know what's crazy about that is that the white actors or white characters they can just wild out and do whatever they want to do. We know, but like, come on, man. With all of that said, we have a choice as black people, as black creatives in this window. You know, do we strike while the iron is hot? While our window is here, do we just capitalize, even though we understand that our work is gonna potentially be diluted, even if just a little bit? Is that worth it for us? Because at the end of the day, even if you're in those rooms with those people, making suggestions and pushing your stories and your work forward, your name is still going to be on that credits list, and you're still going to be able to, you know, potentially open doors for other black people that come after you, because you've shown that it's possible to make work like of this caliber. And isn't that the goal of what we're trying to do? Isn't it? You know, it's a lot to think about. But for me, I chose not to pursue that route. At least within the past year. I slowed myself down because I want to take care of my house, take care of the foundation, and build from there. And understanding that this, for me, is something that I naively and optimistically want to push past this just being a window. I'm in it for the long game. I don't want to be doing this work and getting recognition and accolades for like 5 years and then it's over. You know, I want this to continue to go. And so I wanted to spend a lot of time to just rest and really consider what that long game looks like. And a couple of people I talked to about it thought that was a bad idea. Thought that I should just capitalize because, you know, money is capital, obviously, but money is also leverage, which can help you in the long run, which is true. But I decided not to do it. And I think that freedom is what it's really about, is the freedom to be able to make the choices that you want to do. Just because every other black person or black creative is doing it right now doesn't mean that it's right for me. And so I think that other black people can sort of take that weight off their shoulder. It doesn't need to be there. Because when these, let's say there's people who are fighting the fight right now and continuing to push this work forward in this moment right now, they're going to need a break at some point. And those who are resting now can potentially step in when their time is up, when their time comes. I really think that that's beautiful, that we can all have that freedom and that understanding that not every black person has to think and do the same thing at the same time. That's the beauty of being a person of color and having different cultures and backgrounds. We can think differently and we can appreciate it. But that said, I'm still ready to jump back into this podcast. Let's get it. Okay, so what kind of updates for the podcast we're talking about? First, we got new episodes, so those are coming. Got a couple of tweaks I want to make. Yeah, I still want to focus on the everyday instances of prejudice and racism that goes on, but I want to widen the net that I'm casting a little bit to where it's not just black folks, but it's, all people of color, all people who have kind of gone through some of these different experiences, whether within this country or outside of it. There's a lot of things, a lot of instances that I don't know about that I want to learn about, and so I want to bring other people into the conversation, and I hope you do too. Second thing, if you haven't noticed, you probably haven't yet, but we added video. So whenever possible, I want to have video episodes uploaded too. They're going to be on the YouTube page. Obviously, I'll link in the description in case you're listening and you can't see, but you want to see. So that'll be something that I'm very, very excited about. As a person who is started visually, it feels good to kind of jump back into that realm too. So with the new episodes coming up, there's still going to be like video calls to a degree for two reasons. One, I need a legitimate studio because right now I don't really have the space to bring anybody in. So if you got studio locations, connections, plugs, hit me up. And then two, COVID, y'all. I mean, COVID ain't going nowhere. We haven't figured out how to adapt to it and maneuver around it. So until then, I'm staying my butt home. And then lastly, like the last big thing that I'm adding, well, let me get y'all's take. How y'all feel about these little soliloquies? I don't know. I kind of want to add some more of these just in between our conversations that we have, like little mini episodes. This one's a little longer, but I think that for me, there's a lot of stuff that's on my mind that I'm, either reading about or learning about that I want to share with you all, but doesn't always naturally come up in the conversations that I have with the guests that I have on the episodes. So I kind of want to add some of these little ones in between here and there to just sort of like fill out the seasons and really feel like you can get a full picture of who I am as a host and what the show is about too. So let me know what y'all think. I think I'm gonna keep it going though. And so after this, I think the first 4 episodes that I'm gonna release are old. They're not old, but like, I recorded them in like I was probably like spring 2021 is when they were recorded. And so some of the conversations are probably going to feel a little bit dated, some of the things that were going on in the world that we talk about, but nonetheless, the conversations are still really exciting and really cool. A couple of them have videos, a couple of them don't, just because of clearance and permissions and whatnot. But just be patient with us. We're going to keep these things rolling, keep them uploaded. And then before you know it, we'll be caught up and be doing some current stuff. So lastly, I'm going to be doing some like special series episodes that I'm going to be pairing with some artwork that I'm going to be producing visually. And so I think I want to hold on what I'm saying, like hold how much I tell you guys about it, because I've got some really big projects coming up that do include the podcast in it, but it's going to be really special, and I just want to wait until that stuff comes before I really tell you guys what's going on. But that said, it sounds like we got a lot going on, because we do have a lot going on. And I gotta be honest, I need an editor. I ain't got time to edit all this stuff together. So please, if you have any suggestions or if you want to edit the podcast yourself, like there's so many movie elements and I want to continue to expand and grow. But I think one of the harder things from last year too is I was having a hard time staying consistent with it, especially trying to grow and add new elements into it. So I think having an editor or support editor to take some of the load off on me would be really, really helpful. And I think it would just make the content so much even more enjoyable than it already is. Y'all still with me? I mean, that's all I got really. I appreciate y'all listening. Like I said before, everything that I talk about, I'm going to have links to the articles and the books and whatnot in the show notes. Please take a look at them if you can, if you have an opportunity to. Yeah, I think that, if there's any suggestions that you have on topics to talk about, or people to bring on, or friends that you think would be great to have conversations with, or shoot, if you are an editor or know an editor who can jump in and help out with this podcast, please email me at whatsupasa@gmail.com. WHATS. Y'all know how to spell it, man. I'm not gonna do that to y'all. I'm having a hard time right now. But yeah, just email me and we can get some things going. If you're new to the podcast, again, please, we have a full season from 2020 that we recorded, and those are some really good conversations, some really good people that kind of shows where we started and where we're headed. And so catch up on those if you haven't, because we got some new ones coming down in the chamber and they ready to rock. So yeah, again, I just appreciate y'all, and again, Happy New Year. I can still say it, Happy New Year. Got another week or so. That's all I got for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. But before I go, I just got to remind y'all, like always, that none of us have any idea what we're doing. We just become better actors. And with that, I pray that y'all stay safe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.